Hello everyone and welcome to Tech Down Over. I'm Harold Muliati and I'm joined by our co-host Geoff Blanchard. How are you doing today, Geoff?
Good, thank you, Harold. And I'm really excited with we've got a returning guest, which I missed out on last time, and the subject I really love is about the not stock photography, stock video. So let's get going.
Yeah, let's go.
This show is sponsored by Relate Corporation at www.relate.com, your training and video partner.
Hello, I'm Peter Baker. Please visit voiceovermasterclass.com to see details of the training courses I have on offer for new and existing voice talents to further their career by enhancing voice and technical skills, as well as essential marketing tips.
And we're back, and joining in our center position of power, it is Doug Jensen with Vortex Media.
Hello, good to be here again with you guys. Good to be here again.
Great. How are you doing today, Doug?
Doing well. Doing well.
Yeah, and last time...
Yep, it's good to be back on.
On our last episode with Doug, we kind of started a little bit into the subject of stock videography, but we kind of ran out of time and cut off, and so... why don't you tell us a little bit, Doug, about how you were telling us last time that the stock footage market's kind of taking off, especially for people that are selling it. You're saying it's getting better.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I hear doom and gloom people saying, oh, the time for stock footage is over, it's too late, too many people are doing it, and I'm finding that's not the case at all. My earnings keep continuing to go up every year and every month. But it's important to point out that I'm talking about stock video. I mean, Geoff, there in the opening, mentioned stock photography, and there's a definite difference between stock photography and stock video. I would not get into doing stock photography at all. I mean, I have a Canon 5D Mark IV. I shoot lots of photos. I enjoy it very much, but I'm not going to waste a second of my time uploading those photos to stock photo agencies because they pay 10, 20 cents per download. It's just not worth my time at all. But contrast that with video, and there's a huge market for that, and I'm making money hand over fist, if you want to put it that way, for the work that I put into it, and plus it's fun. I mean, I got into doing stock video mostly because I go out shooting anyway, because that's what I enjoy to do. Some people like to go hunting or fishing or watching sports or something. I like to go out shooting. And initially, stock footage just kind of gave me an outlet like, if I'm going to shoot this video anyway, why don't I throw it up on some stock footage sites and see how it does? And to my surprise, it did quite well. So I kept uploading more and more. And lo and behold, here 7 years later, I started 2012. I'm averaging, let's see, I'm $80 away right now from hitting $30,000 for the year just at Shutterstock. Wow. I'm also at Adobe and Getty and other places, but just at Shutterstock, I'm about to cross this threshold. $80 more. Please go download one of my clips in so I can cross the threshold. But I set a goal at the beginning of the year to hit $30,000 by the end of the year, and I'm $80 away from now, and we still got 2 weeks to go. So I'm sure I'm going to blast right through that. So it's a great business to be in.
So you mentioned Shutterstock, Adobe Stock, and Getty, and a Getty. Are those sort of the three main ones that are kind of a hot?
Well, I would throw Pond 5 in there as another major one too. I've uploaded a few things to Pond 5 a year or so ago just to see how it went, and I got good results from that. And it's on my to-do list, is to upload my whole portfolio up to Pond 5 also. I have no reason to think that Pond 5 wouldn't be a good one to get involved with, but I just haven't had the time to push that button yet. So I'm putting most of my emphasis into Shutterstock right now. And Getty, they're out. I'm not uploading anything more to Getty. They're done. Their payouts are so low, and it's not worth my time. And Adobe, kind of on the fence on that still. I'm not quite sure whether it's worth it to continue uploading to Adobe or not. But right now, Shutterstock by far accounts for the bulk of my income from stock.
And you might have seen me looking down just then. I was actually taking notes. But
no problem.
And Doug has graciously provided us with a promo code for his stock photography shooting course, which you'll see right in the description below. It's the first link, and we have the promo code there, TDO, that you can use to get a discount on his course. And he's got I believe you said it's a 5-hour course on all the aspects.
It's 5 hours. Yeah, it's 5 hours broken into 26 chapters. As I go around doing training for different companies and teaching at different workshops and stuff, the subject of stock footage would come up quite often, and I kept on saying the same information over and over again. And so I decided, well, creating masterclass training videos for Sony camcorders and DaVinci Resolve and stuff is something I've done in the past. So I decided, well, maybe it's time to do a stock footage video. So I created a 5-hour masterclass on stock footage, and basically it's me giving you all the information, all the lessons that I've learned over the last 7 years. I like to say it's the video that I wish I could have watched back in 2012 when I was first getting started. So that's on Vimeo for on-demand streaming, and it basically takes you through the whole process. The one thing of deciding what to shoot, how to shoot it, what's going to sell, where to upload it, and just as importantly, how you process that footage in post. Do you grade the footage or not? How do you edit it? What's the appropriate length? What are the frame rates that are recommended? And then exporting that out and uploading to the Shutterstock and Adobe are the two agencies that I use in my video. We go through the whole entire process for both of those. And also something that a lot of people don't even realize is how important doing the metadata is. The descriptions, the keywords. I would say those are equally as important to the footage. You could have the greatest footage in the world, but if nobody can find it on the agency's website, then you're never going to sell it. So having the appropriate keywords and the descriptions and knowing how to market your footage on those sites is critically important. I think that's where a lot of people who maybe have dabbled in stock footage before and didn't have success, when I look at their metadata that goes along with their clips, sometimes that's where the problem is.
I think you find that with a lot of things, don't we, Doug? There's so many talented people out there that can shoot excellent video and they can do all these marvelous things, but they don't promote themselves or don't do the metadata correctly. So it's great being the best in the world, but if you're the only one looking at it, it's nothing. And then you say you could, like you said, the video quality might not be 100%, but if you've got a lot of the metadata correct, you more than likely will get the views or get somebody to buy it because they're actually seeing that. So I'm glad you did put that code in, Doug, because I was just about to buy that, go and do that course last night, and now I get a 25% discount. Now, it was what, 158.37. Was that because of what you sold your first clip for, or something? Was that
well, the way I've priced that is that if you can sell, if you watch my video and I help you sell just 4 4K clips or a few more HD clips that you wouldn't have sold otherwise, the whole thing will be paid for. That's all I'm asking for you. Is basically give me the proceeds that you would get from selling 4 4K clips, and I'll teach you everything I know and how to make money at it. And I think it's important to point out that I'm not doing this as my full-time job either. I'm still working on all the other television and video production stuff I normally work on. This is something that I just do in my spare time. I would say I spend maybe 10 to 15 hours a month or less on this, but yet I'm making, in October I made $3,800 from Shutterstock. In September I made $3,700 from Shutterstock. This month with the holidays and stuff, it'll be a bit lower, maybe around $3,000, but you know, I'm averaging now up in the over $3,000 a month just from Shutterstock, and that's not bad for something that I just kind of do in my spare time, I think.
And let's face it, the things like a lot of us do, we'll go out doing that filming anyway. And
yes, because you enjoy it, right? You enjoy it.
Yeah. Even if you weren't putting it up on Shutterstock, you would be out there doing the same amount of filming. And that, but
exactly.
What I like with this idea, Doug, is I sometimes think, oh, I'd love to do that, but what's the point? But if they've got, even if there's somewhere to put it, and even if there's a chance I might sell 2 clips a month or a year, That's something to get people enthused. And I know it's sort of a thing that I'm really interested in to do, not to make a lot of money, but just to do your art for a particular reason. And then you don't have to think about making a little play or doing documentaries. You can just film what you like to do. And one of the things I like watching your videos, and sometimes I just sit there and just watch filming, and that's just so different. There's no the animals and just the space shots that you do, and it's just fantastic. When you see great quality film, it's just wonderful to watch.
Oh, thank you very much for saying so. I appreciate that. And it's fun to shoot. And again, like I said before, that's how I got into it. It's like, yeah, like you said, I'm going to be out there. It's like, imagine if you like to go fly fishing, but for every fish you caught, you got a couple $100 in your pocket. Wouldn't that make it just a little bit more interesting? To me, it would be.
That's right.
That's the way I kind of feel about stock footage. It's like, I'm out here anyway. In fact, I'll segue here to something else, because I talked about how much effort I put into it. And when I've done my calculations and I figured out, well, how much am I really making for the time and effort that I'm putting into this? And if I exclude the time I put into shooting, because I'm going to be doing that anyway and I enjoy that, to me that's not work, that's fun. I'm not going to include that in my calculations. But if I include the time it takes me to ingest the footage into my computer, do some quick editing on it, do some color grading in Resolve, export the footage out, do my metadata, my keywords, my descriptions, upload that to the stock footage sites. Just at Shutterstock alone, if you calculate how much money I make on an hourly basis on that, I'm making about $203 an hour, and that's easy to calculate because I just take my lifetime earnings that that takes me about 5 minutes per clip. Let me back up. It takes me about 5 minutes per clip to do all that work in post. So if I divide my size of my portfolio by 5 minutes per clip that it took me to create it, and then I multiply that by, and I divide that into how much money that I've earned off of that footage, it comes out to about $203 an hour. Now, you show me anywhere where you're going to be able to go out and consistently make a couple $100 an hour doing something that you like and having no clients looking over your shoulder either. I can go out and shoot whatever I want. I got no clients bugging the hell out of me.
Yeah, that's right, and your course covers all the things the things you can shoot and the things you can't shoot.
Yes, it does. Yeah, because basically, let's talk about Shutterstock for a second. Although the other agencies are fairly the same, your footage kind of gets divided into two broad categories: either commercial or editorial. Now, if you have footage that you can see recognizable faces in, if you can see logos, even a logo on a car or a bicycle or a pair of shoes, they will not accept that as commercial footage without a release. And you're not going to get a release from Nike if there's a swoosh on someone's shirt or something. So that's out. You might get a release from someone's, if you've hired a model or talent or your neighbor or your friend or your family or something, you've gotten them to be in your footage, you can get a release from them, no problem. It's not going to cost you anything. But so basically, if you can see faces or logos and you don't have a release, then you've got to submit that as editorial clips. Editorial clips, they have to have a byline just like a news caption would have, but they sell for the exact same amount as a commercial clip sells for. It's just there's some restrictions on how whoever buys that footage might be able to use it. They might not be able to use it, in a TV commercial or some other way. So there are some limitations on how it could be used. But when it comes to selling, I don't care if someone buys my clip, whether it's editorial or commercial, because the money to me is all the same. So if I'm going to be shooting like airplanes, for example. I just got done shooting a bunch of airplanes up in Boston in October. I try to find angles and shots where you don't see so much the logos on the plane, because then that could be uploaded as commercial, and that has more value than something that might be restricted if you could see the Southwest logo on the tail of an airplane or something. So you just kind of get in the mode of thinking about, how can I do this shot? Maybe you're at Niagara Falls and you've got people looking at the falls. Well, back up a little bit and silhouette the people up against the falls, so you still have people in your shot, but they're silhouetted and your focus is on the falls. So that's how you can kind of get around some of the commercial versus editorial issues. And I was running the numbers on my own footage just a few days ago for another update video I was working on, and in October and September, only about 17% of my sales were for editorial clips. The rest were for commercial clips. So even though, so clearly there's tons of money to be made in the commercial arena.
Now, do you make that call of whether it's editorial or commercial, or do Shutterstock make that call?
I make that call when I upload it, and I have to make that call when I upload. That's a great point, because you know, I'm uploading 4K clips, so we can talk about 4K versus HD in a second if you want to get on that subject. But I upload only 4K clips, and those are huge clips, and I have a slow internet connection where I live, and so it takes me about 20 minutes. You know, I'm not sitting there watching. I just put a batch in of 100 clips and let them upload. But it takes about 15 to 20 minutes per clip to upload. Now, if those clips upload to Shutterstock and they say, you know what, and they reject it because it was commercial or because it was out of focus or whatever reason they might reject it, I have to start again from scratch. I can't just say, oh, okay, well, I'll try submitting this as editorial. Nope. I would have to re-upload that all those clips and start again from scratch. So it's very important for me not to waste my time trying to skirt the rules and getting things approved as commercial when clearly Shutterstock is not going to approve those. So that's some of the stuff that I talk about in my video, is how to determine, okay, is this going to pass the smell test to get approved as commercial? And if not, could it pass as editorial? So I'll submit that as editorial. And sometimes you might have some clips that aren't going to pass as either one. So it'd just be a waste of time to upload them for either category. You just need to say that's not going to fly.
One thing I was wondering, for the different services that you upload and sell your stuff through, do they all use kind of the same payment model? Like, do they all pay out per for each time that people buy the clip, or how does that work?
Let's see. Getty's an oddball. They pay every quarter or something like that. I'm not sure how Getty does. I've kind of pushed the Getty aside. But let's talk about Shutterstock and Adobe right now. Shutterstock, the money builds up throughout the month, and then on the 5th of the next month, they transfer to PayPal everything, all my commissions that I've earned for the previous month. So if I earn $3,000 by December 31st, sometime around January 5th or 6th, they'll transfer that $3,000 into my Shutterstock account. So they do that once a month. Adobe works a little differently. I believe that you can maybe set it up so that you can get automatic payments, but what I'm doing right now is I'm just having it build up. It just, my Adobe account just keeps building. I log in and I can see exactly what my account balance is, and it just keeps adding to it. I should probably pull some money out and put it into some investment that'll start getting a return on it, but it's kind of nice just to have it sitting there also. But when I am ready for the payout, I'll just go in there and configure it and tell it, transfer my money to Adobe, and I mean to PayPal, and I've got my money instantly. So very easy.
Oh, okay.
Yep. They'll do paper checks too. Shutterstock will, but it's much easier to get it by PayPal, I think, and you don't have to worry about getting it lost in the mail and all that sort of thing. Yeah.
And one of the things Rick
works pretty well.
So one of the things Rick and I've always been saying was, you know, the best videos are done on a proper video camera. And I see that you're one of those people also that agrees with us on that these DSLRs do great quality in that, but there's still I still think there's just something about a video camera. I've got my old XA10 Canon HD video camera, and I still think that does better picture sometimes than my 4K DSLR sometimes, with just pointing it at something. I don't know why, but maybe it's just me, but I just think there's just something different about the two formats.
Well, I totally agree with that. My opinion is, I'm a big proponent is if you're going to shoot professional video, then use a camcorder that's primarily designed for shooting video, and not a stills camera that also does video as a kind of an added-on, tacked-on thing, which I think it is with the DSLRs and mirrorless cameras. But that's also because I'm an old school video guy. I grew up in TV. I grew up with camcorders. That's what I'm familiar with. That's what I work with. So I'm not going to say that you can't do good work with a DSLR or mirrorless camera. I'm going to say that I can't do my best work with those cameras. But when I see what other people are able to do with those cameras, like a Panasonic GH5 or something like that, the people are doing phenomenal work with those cameras. I don't think that they can shoot necessarily, they don't have the they might not be able to shoot, you know, long telephoto stuff of wildlife and that kind of thing. They don't have built-in ND filters, you know, and some of the conveniences that I've got in a camcorder, but that doesn't mean that those cameras can't do a good job. And so in my video, I talk about, here's the things that I look for in a camcorder. Here's why I choose the cameras that I use. But you'll have to decide for yourself what tools are going to be best for you, because just because I like to use a certain type of paintbrush if I'm a painter doesn't mean that you couldn't paint a great painting with another style of paintbrush. So it's all in kind of in the hands of the beholder. It's more about the craftsman and what they can do with their tool than which tool it is. But I agree with you. I'm old school. I'll still take the camcorder over the other cameras any day.
Well, I've used both, and I know I've got a GH5, and I love the camera and do anything else. But in that lazy thing, I can't be bothered putting an ND filter on it. To stop doing
Right.
that, where if I had a Panasonic video camera which had the ND filter, just do the click, I've got it. You can use it. So your footage tends not to be as nice on the Panasonic because you don't put an ND filter on them. By the time you put it on, whatever you wanted, the film's gone.
Yes, right. But at least you have the experience and the knowledge to know that you need an ND filter. Because I think there's also some people that will take a camera like a mirrorless camera like the GH5 or DSLR, and they'll just either shoot at a faster shutter speed, you know, 1/500th or 1/1000th, because they're still photographers and that's what they're used to doing, is controlling the exposure by adjusting the shutter speed. They don't have any ND filters. They just go to a higher shutter speed. Well, that's not going to fly for video. Customers are not going to buy videos that have really outrageous shutter speeds like that. So if it doesn't look right. So that's another thing, is learning to use the equipment that you've got and knowing what the limitations are of that equipment and what accessories that you might need, such as ND filters. Because if someone just says, I'm going to take a GH5, and it's a great camera, and they just go outside and shoot, I guarantee you that video is not going to look right, because number one, they need to have that aperture open wide, because that's going to give you the shallow depth of field bokeh that you want. That's going to give you the best image quality, but you're not going to be. But the shutter speed is going to be the killer. So you've got to have ND filters and the right kind of accessories to go with those cameras. And then by the time you factor all that kind of stuff in, sometimes you would have been better off just to buy a camera like one of the cameras I use is little Sony Z90, which is like a $3,000 camera. It's a true camcorder, has built-in ND filters. It does 4K. It's a great little camera, and I've sold enough stock footage from that camera to pay for the camera already. So, I mean, that's not the camera that I use most of the time, but it's a perfectly adequate camera for getting started doing stock, and it's paid for itself already. So I know by what I speak.
Now, Doug, one of the things, this said, one of the big differences between the DSLRs and the video cameras were like the shallow depth of field. With stock video, do you need that, or is most of the things all in focus, sharp? I think it's different to photography, isn't it? So is that shallow depth of field needed in stock video or not?
Yes, I think it is. I think it's needed in all video. I'm not saying when you talk about shallow depth of field that you need to just have some extreme where there's only 1 inch of the picture in focus and everything else is really super blurred out with lots of round circular lights in the background stuff. That's going too extreme, and that's probably not going to fit into the production that a lot of stock footage buyers are going to be looking for. So they're not going to buy that because it's going to be too extreme. But I do feel it's very important to control depth of field so that the subject of the picture, whatever that is in sharp focus, and everything else is as out of focus as usually I can make it. Because I'm not working with full frame sensors. I'm working with either Super 35, which is APS-C, or 2/3 inch or even 1/2 inch cameras. Those cameras, I want to strive to get as shallow depth of field as I can. I can never get too shallow with those cameras. And having that subject, whatever that is, whether you're shooting a bird or an airplane or just whatever you want to picture, having that subject in sharp focus while the background and foreground fall off of focus is the kind of stuff that people look for. Because that, just whether you're shooting stock footage or just regular video for whatever other purposes you're shooting video for, that makes a better looking image by far.
And I suppose
so I don't want to be shooting like at f/16 or f/8 or something like that, because I know for a fact no matter what the camera is, I am not going to be getting images that I'm going to come back and look at and say, wow, that's great images. I'm going to hate it.
And I guess that goes back to what you were talking about. last episode, that's why it's so nice that a lot of the newer Sony cameras have the electronic variable ND, so it's like you.
Oh yes.
That's such a cool feature.
That is a fantastic feature. Being able to adjust your exposure like a dimmer wheel on a LED light, that is fantastic. I wish all my cameras have that, and they will in the future. But right now, I still shoot with the cameras that have, ND1, ND2, ND3. Better than nothing, but the variable ND, that's hard to beat. I agree totally with you there.
And I was wondering, with colors, do you find that people more want to buy footage that is kind of already graded for immediate use, or stuff that kind of gives them the ability to grade it a bit more, as far as like what color profile you shoot in and all that sort of thing?
Well, I'm a big proponent of grading before you put it up. I mean, to me, it's like a guy at a grocery store, a guy in the produce department polishing the apples and oiling down the cucumbers and making everything look as good as I can. The people go home and wash their own fruits and vegetables if you want to, but if you want to sell it, you got to make a good presentation. And I believe that that's the case.
I figure people are probably scrolling across a lot of video clips, and it's got to catch their attention, right? So
exactly. That thumbnail image is that's like the cover of your book. You've got to have that look really sharp and colorful and beautiful if you want to capture people's eyes. Now, and I have, not recently, but in the early days, I did do some experimentation where I uploaded some similar clips. And I did graded versions versus some that had a very light minimal grade on it, and the ones that had the more grading always outsold the other. So I've just kind of stopped doing that at all. And I'm not saying you have to go really to extremes and really make it crazy over the top. You still want to have it be you want the grading to look good, but generic enough that it could still fall into a broadcast TV production or something natural, like that. Right? You don't want to be so over the top that it's only, natural. Yes. Yeah. Natural and nice, not something that looks like it came out of a music video where, some extreme look was wanted. So, but yeah, and so that's critical. If you think you're just going to go out and shoot video and just take the files and just upload those right up to Shutterstock or Adobe and expect those to sell, I got news for you. That's not going to happen. And I would say the same thing, probably most successful still photographers would tell you the same thing. The idea of shooting a JPEG or something and then just uploading that straight to the web is not going to fly for your high-end clientele that are your potential buyers. You've got to do some Lightroom or some Photoshop to those and enhance them before you put them out there. And I do the exact same thing with video. But that doesn't mean that I spend a ton of time working on that. As I said earlier, I've kept track of my time, and it takes me probably more around 4 minutes, but I say 5 minutes just to be fair. 5 minutes per clip to bring it in, trim it down so it's only the core, trim off the tails and heads so it's nice and smooth, do some quick color grading on it in Resolve, and export it back out, do all my metadata and everything. Everything I need to do a clip, I can do in 4 or 5 minutes. So it's not like I'm taking one image and working on it for half an hour and then hoping to make money on it. That's the other thing about stock footage. You've got to be fast and efficient in post. You've got to have a system that works for you in post, because you can't spend 15 minutes, a half an hour per clip. You've got to be able to crank this stuff out on a assembly line and upload it as quickly as you can.
Yeah, well, I think that's quite right. It's like, I think I've heard you say before that you said that you haven't seen an image yet, or a photo or a video that doesn't need that couldn't do with some sort of adjustment at the end of it. And I must admit, when I've done, no matter what you take, there's always something. You always just darken it, light. There's always just that little bit, because nothing does it exactly how you might film it, and you've done it perfectly the way you wanted to film it. But when you get back, it just doesn't look right. So you've got to adjust it. And I was just thinking when you said about that grading issue, I thought, just imagine going to Shutterstock and looking at you uploaded hundreds of vlog footage. It would look horrible, and nobody, because they said the people usually who are looking for that are looking for great things. They don't want to do any work. I think if those people who would take them and grade them and do all that work, they're probably the people who would get the camera and go and film the damn things themselves. So,
Yes,
and I think
exactly,
most people go there.
exactly.
I know if I go to stock or anything, if I went to that, I want to just grab something to put into my thing, not have to go and do anything. I thought, oh, and that's what you were saying before, with I think that stock footage, there's so much out there that you can do, because you could film it, I could film it in a similar area, and so, but mine's a different look, but that might fit into somebody else's project, and I've done it at a different angle. And I thought it was quite interesting you saying that, where people thinking that they might have missed out on any of this stock video, but like you said, look at the millions and millions of HD video footages out there, but everybody wants 4K. So you can go and do the same thing again. So there's still the market there for it.
Oh, and that's still open, because I would say 90% of the sales I make are not 4K sales yet. Now, everything I upload in 4K, because that's like planting seeds for the future, because HD is on its way out. It's not going to happen overnight, but HD is on its way, and pretty soon everything's going to be 4K. So I want to be planting these 4K seeds. But the 4K stuff isn't selling just yet. That's for the future. But when I upload a 4K clip to Shutterstock or Adobe, they automatically extract an HD version out of that. So I get the best of both worlds. I can upload 4K, sell the HD version as long as HD is still the popular format. And as soon as people start to switch over to 4K, my stuff's already there and ready to go. So if you go and look at these agency websites, Shutterstock, Adobe, Pond 5, look at all the footage out there that is only available in HD. Well, you give it another, I don't know, I didn't want to put a timeline on it, year, 2 years, 3 years, I don't know what, but pretty soon, all of that HD footage is going to look as old and outdated, as clunky as standard definition does today. And I want to have, so there's a ripe opportunity right now, not 5 years from now when 4K is already caught on and is the norm. Right now, there is an opportunity to take a look at all those HD clips and say, you know what, I'm going to put up a 4K version with that. I may not have too many sales right now competing with the existing footage that's already out there. Maybe, maybe not. Who knows? But when those HD clips fall into the ditch on the side, my 4K clip is going to be there to shine and take over. And I really think that we're in a period of a few years right here where the opportunities are greater than ever.
Yeah. And with that, we're just about at the end of our time, but I hope that this is going to be a rousing call of action to everyone out there. You know, use your cameras. If you got video cameras, shoot it in 4K. And I know, because here at Relate, we're a training company, and we use quite a lot of stock footage. If it seems like there's a lot of stock footage out there, it's not, you know, we can always use more. I do still find myself looking and trying to find, like, you know, I'm looking at a bunch of variations of a similar clips, but maybe I don't find quite the one I wanted. So there's always space, I think, for more clips that might be just the thing I'm looking for. And, you know, we could, and that is true, where a lot of times I'll be finding stuff and actually don't have much more time to you know, put together the part of whatever I'm putting together. So a lot of that goes back to the, you know, having stuff already graded and just ready to put in somewhere.
And the right metadata so that those customers can find it. Because you take two people that have exact same clip, or maybe there's an already existing clip on there, but you can come in and not only beat them with the better footage, you can also beat them with better metadata. That's the missing component that a lot of people fail to understand, how critical having the right descriptions and keywords so that people can find your footage.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was just going to say, one of the things I'll listen to what Doug says, I think, is you planting the seeds with your stock video. You're not uploading hundreds of videos and expecting the money to roll in today, tomorrow, but then the money that rolls in today, tomorrow might be something you put in 2 years ago. And this is said, it's just planting the seeds. Don't expect, I've uploaded 50 clips, where's my 50 sales? Or something that I've got to sell. You might sell 2, but it's from one you did 6 months ago. But that's the thing, and you just never know what somebody think, hang on, I've sold that one. That's something I shot 3 years ago, but somebody might need that. And people say, well, it's dated. Yes, somebody might need something dated because they're fixing up some old bit of footage, and they need something from 3 years ago. So
Exactly.
And once that clip from 3 years ago does sell, now you've just quadrupled or tripled the odds that it will sell again. Because that's one thing I've found is that once a clip sells, once someone has laid down some money and bought your clip once, the odds just went up astronomically that that clip will now sell again. Because I encourage people to go to Vimeo/Doug Jensen/stock. And you can watch the first 18 minutes of my training video for free on there. And one of the things I talk about is how only about 1/6 of my clips are going to sell. Not every clip is going to sell, but it's the clips that do sell that more than make up for the ones that never happen. But I would never write off those 5 clips that haven't sold yet, because as you said just a second ago, Geoff, it could sell at any time, and there it is.
And I'll make that link available below for everyone to go click on and check out. So,
yeah, watch that first 18 minutes. If you don't want to sign up for the rest of the course, that's fine. But the first 18 minutes, that's a good video. And I've got another one I just released a couple of weeks ago that's an update. And I kind of analyze all my sales figures for September and October of this year. I go through and talk about how old some of the clips are, how many times they've sold, where the money is being made, what's the range of the low commissions to the high commissions. And I kind of go through and crunch all my numbers for people. So if you're interested in those kind of details, I've just uploaded that video about 3 weeks ago. Awesome. And again, that video is free also.
Great. Well, yeah, go check it out, everyone. And thanks for coming on, Doug, and telling us, spreading the good word about planting seeds and reaping what you sow, and such and such, and all the farming metaphors in the world for stock footage.
Yes, and there's room for everybody. People say, well, you're just encouraging your competition. Well, yeah, but there's room for everybody. What you go out and shoot is not going to be the same as what I go out and shoot.
Yeah, exactly.
Because we all have different opportunities available to us. Maybe your father's a doctor, so you can go shoot a whole bunch of stuff in a doctor's office. Maybe your mother runs a grocery store. Maybe you've got young kids running around at home. Maybe you've got older grandparents. I don't know what, but we all have different things that we can go out and shoot. And the odds that you're going to go out and shoot stuff, if I encourage you to get involved in stock footage, the odds that you're going to go out and shoot stuff that I would have shot or is going to compete with my footage, not very, very slim. I'll take my chances and encourage everybody to get in on it now, because the money is there to be made.
And if someone else is shooting the exact same footage, maybe they're your evil twin with the little mustache and goatee.
Right. And more power to them anyway. If they can beat me on a level playing field, then great, because something we have. I know we got to wrap up, but one thing I haven't talked about is that it's a level playing field, because even though I've been at Shutterstock since 2002 and I have thousands of clips on their website already that I've uploaded it, if you and I both upload essentially the same clip tomorrow, we're both on a level playing field. My experience, my background, my sales at Shutterstock do not give me a leg, or Adobe, do not give me a leg up over your footage. All the clips that get uploaded compete on their own individually. So my clip does not have an advantage over your clip. So it really is a level playing field, and you could jump in at any time and get going and have just as much success as I'm having.
Great. Yeah. All right, so, well, thanks for coming on, and
thank you.
I hope
thanks very much, Doug, and we much appreciate you coming on so recently. But I know I'll watch the show that you and Rick did, and we said the one thing you really wanted to talk about, I think, was the stock. We ran out of time, and so I'm really keen on this. So it's given me a lot of enthusiasm again, and given me a good reason to buy one of your courses, because I wanted to before, but I thought I didn't have one of the cameras, so I thought it wasn't any point. But now I don't need that. I can do that, and plus I love always looking at the Sony cameras, and it might encourage me to get one, and I can do one of your courses on the Sony cameras that you do very well on at that. So I encourage anybody who's got a Sony camera or anything to do with stock footage with the Sony video cameras, check Doug's site, because he's got plenty of those courses. And if you've ever looked at anything that Doug does, it's so easy to listen to, and you just feel like a friend showing you things. It's really easy and interesting. It's one of the few ones. Some of these training courses I do, I find myself falling asleep. I thought, falling asleep. Not Doug's. I'm so interested. And like you said, that quick 18-minute video, that just went like that. I was so interested in that, and then I've watched, your free sections of your video camera courses, and I thought they're just so interesting to do. So I do encourage people to take Doug up on his courses, and that the very money well spent, I think. So thanks again. So hopefully we can catch you again sometime in the new year.
Yeah.
Yes, let's do it again. Always willing to come on.
Awesome.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And
have a good holiday.
Thanks everyone for joining in, and we'll see you next episode of Tech Down Over.
Bye for now.
Bye everyone.
Bye.